Hello everyone, it is time for a new video, and today I'm going to be talking about single parent romances, and I'm very excited. I absolutely love this trope. I just did a video where I did like a bunch of different romance tropes, single parent being one of them, but I think I said either one or two books, and I want to do videos where I actually just focus on one trope, of course. And I would love to know what your favorite tropes are and let me know which one I should do next. So the first book that I have here is one that I've been thinking about a lot recently, and it is about time for me to finally get a physical copy of it and reread it. But it is Queen Move by Kennedy Ryan. This is a romance that I read quite at the beginning of my romance reading journey before I fully dove into the genre, and it's always stayed with me. It was my first Kennedy Ryan book, and she is just absolutely incredible. I've been talking about her quite a lot recently as well, because it's never enough, honestly. And this book I feel like people actually don't talk about enough. Kennedy Ryan is a very beloved author, as she should, and her most recent series got a lot of hype, but I feel like people don't necessarily know about her backlist, and this is a part of her backlist that I think just really stands out and is so special. And so we have a single dad, and the two main characters grew up together. They were literally born on the same day, and their moms were friends. And so they were, of course, in each other's lives for a very long time, growing up, and always, were super close and just best friends. Then life kind of tore them apart. And so they were each other's first love, and they loved each other as friends and as more than friends. And then, they were pulled apart, and it's just kind of it keeps happening in the story where they're pulled apart and they keep coming back, and trying to come back. And there's a lot that stands in their way, and it is incredibly angsty. The stakes are so high, it's so emotional, and all of Kennedy Ryan's books are like that, but this one I think is one of the most intense that I've ever read. And it is worth every page. It is incredibly addicting. I swear to God, if you start reading it, you will not be able to put it down, And it is just such a beautiful story, and you should absolutely check it out if you have not yet done that. Next book I have is Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. So I absolutely love Elsie Silver, and from the top of my head, I think she definitely has some other single parent romances, but this is one of the most recent ones, and I adored this. This has a single dad hero, and we have the small town guy, city girl vibe, where the heroine is a country singer, and she comes to this small town, and she wants to take pictures of I think it's a grizzly bear, and the hero sees her and he's like, what the actual fuck is happening right now? And then they find out that the bear has babies, which, if you know anything about animals, which I generally don't, but this is something even I know, that if an animal in the wild has children, they're gonna be insanely protective and they're gonna kill you if you get close, And yeah, but our heroine did not exactly know that. She did not realize at first as well. And so yeah, he saves her, and that's how it begins. But I absolutely loved this, and the single parent romance, the single dad aspect is so special in this, because I absolutely loved the kids. I feel like that is really hard to pull off in a single parent romance, that the kids feel like a solid character, and you actually really love them as a character, not just that they're not just kind of in the background to serve the story. And I loved them. It was a little boy and a little girl, and they were just so lovely, and I absolutely loved Skylar's relationship with them as well. Also, highly recommend, and just so good. And yes. So the next book that I have here is one that I also actually mentioned in the trope video, but I will be talking about it again and again and again, because this is one of my all-time favorite romances as well, and it is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. And I did mention in that other video that the thing that I love so much about this, and I'm so happy that I can mention it again, is that this is a single mom romance, and her daughter is getting her own book later this year that is going to be a YA contemporary romance, and I am so happy about that. I've literally never ever seen that happen. Maybe it's obviously happened before, but not that I know of, and and so I desperately want to reread this as well again before I read that, because I don't fully remember the details of the daughter and their relationship. Yeah, so that one is called Audrey and Bash Are Just Friends. and it's coming out on May 6th. So looks absolutely adorable, and I absolutely cannot wait for that. But anyways, back to this. This is such an incredible, also very angsty romance. And it's Second Chance, and I think that's actually the trope that I mentioned this for in the trope video. And so it's Second Chance, and they had 7 days in June that, you know, they spent incredible days together and had a strong connection, but it didn't work out. And now years later, they're at very different points in their lives, and they're both writers, which, like, I love that so much, but the way that this book did it was just absolutely incredible. And like, I loved every second. And yeah, so this is emotional and painful and beautiful and meaningful and lovely and like literally everything that I could ask for in a romance. And you absolutely need to pick it up immediately. And this also has amazing chronic illness representation. I've heard from many people that they really loved that aspect of the book, that they felt like it was realistic and relatable. So if that is also something that you would like to read, another reason to pick this book up. Also, I'm looking at my laptop just so you know where I'm, like, you know, if I'm looking somewhere, that it's my laptop. So the next book is The Sweet Spot by Adriana Locke, and this one is another like small town romance, sort of in the like Wild Eyes direction when it comes to the vibes and the setting. And this one has a single mom and I think a baseball player hero. And the thing that I wrote in my little review is, we love heroes who take care of their overworked partners who had to do everything alone all their life. And that is the thing that I absolutely love so much about single parent romances, like the caretaking. And, you know, obviously being a single parent is incredibly, even not being a single parent, but like especially being a single parent, is incredibly exhausting and difficult no matter what, you know? And obviously you have to do so much alone. And so finding the right person who can help you take care of your child or children, you know, is just so special and so beautiful to see. And I just love that so much. And so I loved how it was done in here. I think this is available as an ebook and audiobook on Kindle Unlimited. And I really liked the audiobook, so definitely check this one out as well. Next book that I have here that I've also talked about before, and I will always come back to talking about it, is How You Get the Girl by Anita Kelly. So this one actually has a basketball as a big thing as well. And I mean, like in The Sweet Spot, this is not really a sports romance. This one is more of a sports romance. It is a sapphic romance, and we have our two heroines, Julie and Elle. Julie is a basketball coach at a high school, and Elle is like a famous basketball player that Julie actually also used to have a crush on. And she comes to their town, and she is a foster parent of one of the kids that play with Julie, you know, basketball, obviously. And so then Elle actually joins the team as like I forgot what it's called, like assistant coach or something like that. Yeah. And so they have to spend more time together, of course, and I absolutely loved the way that parenthood was explored in this. It felt just really meaningful and beautiful, and there were so many important scenes with that, and I loved the way that like they came together and how it was like, you know, how it just worked with their like relationships with Julie and Elle. And so I absolutely love this. This also has amazing representation of depression, and it's just such a beautiful romance. Again, it has a lot of the like caretaking vibes, and it is one of my favorite sapphic romances, and it's just so wonderful and sweet, but steamy as well. And I love Anita Kelly so much, and like I will always recommend their books. And I also want to reread this, and so yeah, absolutely you need to pick this up as well. And yeah, I'm going to keep repeating that because obviously I think you should read all the books that I'm going to talk about. So the next one I have is Ne'er-Do-Well by Alexandra Vasti, and this one is a historical romance, and it's actually also a little bit different because the hero is trying to become a guardian for his half siblings. So he's not their biological father, but they don't have anyone else and he wants to take care of them. And the heroine tries to help him find a proper wife that, you know, like who would help him become a guardian of his siblings and all of that. And let's just say things don't go exactly according to plan. But I loved this. Alexandra Vasti is a recent historical romance author. Like, I mean, she started writing recently, but she's absolutely incredible. She's already put out multiple things that I've absolutely adored. And this was her first, like, full debut novel, but she has other novellas that I devoured. And, so definitely check her out. Like, she is so, so great. Her, books have such a fun voice that is just lighthearted, addicting, and just, you know, sweet, romantic, steamy, like everything that I could want, and really like the cover as well. And so you should absolutely pick it up. And speaking of adult romance, I need to mention another book that I have not talked about in honestly a tragic amount of time. And that is, I forgot how I started the sentence. I had to stop filming for a second. But a book that I haven't talked about in an eternity that I just cannot believe I don't have a copy of. And it's because I've been actually struggling to figure out how to get the US copy. And I desperately need to figure that out. And please, if you know, please tell me, because I need it so bad. And it is The Governess Game by Tessa Dare. And this book is incredibly special to me because this series was the first historical romance series that I ever read. And it has such a special place in my heart. I literally adored it. It was like, you know, the thing that made me realize how much I love historical romance. And it is just truly iconic. And like, I just cannot even, you know? And so in this one, we have a single dad and a governess, obviously, so like a nanny romance or whatever. And the heroine, basically, I don't remember the details. I again have not read this in a long time. But she basically really just, she needs a job, and she is very poor, and she wants to, it's described in the synopsis that she wants to transform a pair of wild orphans into proper young ladies. The hero, Chase, is their guardian, and I don't remember exactly how they're related, but either way, he is the one taking care of them. And Alexandra, the heroine, is going to be the one that helps him. Absolutely loved the romance, absolutely loved the two of them as main characters. Chase is such a charming and wonderful hero, and just I fell in love with them completely. And the kids were so adorable as well, and it's just such a wonderful, wonderful romance, and you need to check it out. Literally one of the best historical romances I've ever read, and you need to read it. The next book that I have here is Single Dad's Club by Therese Biari. This one I absolutely loved. The cover has such a beautiful vibe, and so does the inside of the book. I absolutely love Therese and her books, and they're just so soft and romantic. And this one is quite a realistic take on parenthood, and we have a single dad, obviously, and it shows a lot of the struggle of, you know, of being a parent and a single parent. And I know that Therese Biari is a mother, and so she obviously knows those things firsthand. And so it just felt so real and so sweet, and I loved the romance. And the heroine basically introduces the hero to like the Single Dad's Club, and he is very shy and introverted, and she is a little bit more, you know, out there. And I just loved them, and I really want to buy this physically as well because it's so pretty and so wonderful, and you absolutely need to read it as well. The next one I have here is Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. Another book that explores parenthood in a slightly different and very special and meaningful way, where we have our two main characters who are both trying to foster their younger siblings, and they enter this like, I forgot what it's called, and I don't know if it's like an actual thing that exists, but it's like a initiative that they have two different things that are good for being a parent, but they also lack something, and the other one has that thing that they lack, if that makes sense. So I don't remember the detail. Let's say the heroine has a great job, and the hero doesn't have a great job, but he has an apartment, and so they join forces and just like kind of take care of them together, and all of that. And this was one of the first books that I read by Hannah Bonham Young, and I love her books so much. The family dynamics in this are so beautiful, and I just love Hannah Bonham Young's writing. It's so raw and realistic and lovely and fun as well, and it is just such a great combination. And I absolutely loved this, and there are other books by Hannah Bonham Young that I loved more, her most recent releases, but I still absolutely loved this, and you should definitely read it. And I think that this definitely explores the parent dynamics in a really wonderful way. The next one is Guidance by Danielle Allen, and I'm not gonna say too much about this because if I remember correctly, it is under 100 pages long. And however, I absolutely loved this. I also need to reread it. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. And I'm gonna read you my tiny little review. And so I said, holy fuck, this was so good. It's so hot and wow, single dad plus major worshipping, let me take care of you vibes. Then I complained about how short it is because I needed more. But that's that. And I love Danielle Allen, and she probably has other single parent romances now that I'm saying this, but I can't remember that from the top of my head. But loved this, and you should definitely check it out. Next one I have is Peaches and Dreams by Juliet Cross. This is another small town romance, and we have a single dad and super cozy vibes. I would recommend this for fall, to be honest, but you know, obviously that's not really relevant right now. And we have opposites attract, a grumpy single dad, and a heroine who is like super energetic and charming. And I just love those vibes. I love Juliet Cross. I love her paranormal romances, and she has a few contemporary ones, including this, that are honestly just super fun as well, and so you should definitely read it. Then I need to recommend The Replacements by Shay Sanders, one of my favorite office romances that I've read in a long time or ever. And again, please, please, please let me know if you have any office romance recommendations, because this one I do not have enough of, and I actually love it so much, but it's so hard to find good ones. But this one is really, really good, and it's also on Kindle Unlimited. And we again have a grumpy single dad hero, and the heroine is his assistant, and she is about to be divorced. And yeah, so I feel like it's hard to sometimes write the like assistant boss romance right, because it can be kind of gross sometimes, you know, like just kind of the power dynamics and whatever. That was not the case with this one. This one just was super fun, very sexy, such a page turner, you know, like I devoured this book and loved every second. And last but not least, I have one more book, which is Fumbled by Alexa Martin. And this one came out quite a while ago, but it is second chance, has the secret baby trope, and it's a sports romance. And I think the sport is baseball? Football, actually. Oh yeah, football. So yeah, it's a football romance and revolves quite a lot around that. And so it is second chance. The heroine had her baby as a teenager. She was a teen mom, and the hero did not know about that. So they were kind of high school sweethearts, you know, separated. And yes, very juicy, angsty things happening, but I loved it and highly recommend it. And yes, so that will be all for my single parent romances. Again, please let me know what tropes you would like to see next and what single parent romances you love. And if you made it this far in the video, leave a boat emoji down below. I don't know why, it's the first thing that I thought about. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!